So I'm now here inside the museum, and I'm going to take you through it, show some clips, a little commentary on some of the artifacts, stuff like that. But it's a really cool. I have to be a little quieter. There is some people here today, so I'll mix in a little bit of clips with me talking over it, along with me showing you some things. So yeah, I'll take you right through it. So I just wanted to start off this little tour of the museum here in the first room, which is more of the warfare aspect, like land battles. So here we have this first section is a little immersive, like trench. Like since this site is mainly about World War One, a lot of it is designed after design aspects from World War One. Moving on here, we have artillery from all eras. You have some cannons right there, a Gatling gun right there, then more modern artillery and mortars. So this, like I said, it's based heavily on World War One, but they have pieces and artifacts from all wars in U.S. history, and everything here ties in some form to Pennsylvania. Moving on here is a tank, the M1917, which I will have a separate video about. It has a really cool story. It's just a really cool thing in general. That's the gun that was put into it, the 30 caliber Marlin machine gun. Here's a little armored transport with two different guns of both 30 caliber, or 130, 150 caliber. Some pictures of it. That shell you saw there on the right was from the guns of the USS Pennsylvania, the same caliber that would have been used. These are some rifles with smaller arms used throughout the war. This one is focused on the naval side of the museum, so we have all the different iterations of the USS Pennsylvania, from the early days as a frigate to a cruiser to the battleship, the Dreadnought, which is the one that was stationed in Pearl Harbor, and then to nowadays, there's some pictures of the nuclear submarine, the USS Pennsylvania. So in here, it's pretty small. Obviously, with Pennsylvania being a landlocked state, it's not going to have a huge naval presence. But there's a few really cool things in here, including that torpedo that was on the left side. It's the torpedo that the Navy still uses today, and it was designed just down the road from the Pennsylvania Military Museum at Penn State University. It's just, like I said, there's some really cool things in here, even though it's just a small little section. So I will take you to the next section right now. So I just wanted to highlight one of the three sections here in the museum. There's tactical, which is the beginning, naval, and then here is logistics. In here is more of what you really think of with logistics, a lot of medical, supply, stuff like that. So in here, it's most of the actual smaller vehicles. There's a lot of jeeps, wagons, carts, stuff like that would transport supplies, deceased and wounded soldiers, including this cart behind me, which they would have stacked up either supplies or bodies in there. In addition to that, there's also the original design for the Jeep, which was made here in Pennsylvania. I'll take you over that right now. So like I said, one of the things on display here is the original Jeep, which was made here in Pennsylvania. That's it right behind me. So the company that made it used it in the beginning of World War II, but they didn't continue producing it, or they couldn't continue producing it. And the Jeep as we know it today, the company started making the design, and along with that, the Jeep, there's a lot of other things like this wagon right behind me, right here. This was obviously would have been used during early wars like the Civil War, stuff like that. So this is just one of the little cooler areas of the museum. Like I said, a lot of things. And I almost forgot to mention, one of the coolest little things that I thought is this bike right behind me, if I can get it. Yeah, there it is. It's a U.S. Marine bike. It was designed for paratroopers. After they would take it would fold up. They would take it with them. They would land, and it was, theorized that they could have a quick movement to wherever they needed to go, wherever their mission was. So it's just a cool little funny thing that they have on display here. And that's pretty much it for the museum itself. So I just think it's a really cool museum, a lot of really cool artifacts, a lot of rare exhibits here. So it's definitely worth a visit. So with that, yeah, thank you for watching.